Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. Man, we're going to have a great show tonight. We're going to read more from that book of Hermes Trismegistus just as soon as I can change the settings on my on my camera, because I don't know why this thing is moving so darn slow tonight. Seems to be running slow. I don't know why. I hope I'm coming through loud and clear, because obviously it doesn't seem to be working. Let me know what's going on in the chat room there. Thank you all for coming. We are live tonight. It seems to be a lag in things. I was busy starting a new channel today, and I don't know if you guys checked it out yet, but it is out there. And it is out there, and I'm hoping that you'll go check it out. It's all due to Scotty Boy, and it's called Stupid Talk and Stupid Talk Daily. And here, I'm going to pull it up and put a link in the description. Yes, Nina, I took that down. I'm trying to figure out all these different channels, and I clicked on the wrong one, and I uploaded it to this channel, and it should have been uploaded to the other channel. So sorry about that. It was kind of one of those, and oops, I did it, And so I'm going to put this in the chat. Please go over there and subscribe to the Shoestring Knowledge. Get on there and subscribe to that. We're going to do a bunch of funny news stuff in that bit. Of course, that's all good. Now, remember, tonight we're going to be talking about Hermes Trismegistus. I want to thank Steve for coming on last night. That was pretty good. Really enjoyed that. Oh, where is this? Oh, I put it in the beginnings. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself because I'm so good. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, my mind has gone soft. In the beginning, yes. No. What's it called in the beginning? Something like that. But anyway, never mind me. Don't mind the guy behind the curtain. He just don't know what the heck he's doing. That's where it is. Yeah, tonight we got to have a new background, because last night we had this background. We got to have a different background. Yeah, anyway, there we go. I don't know why I am so blurry. Maybe it's the screen here. I just don't know, people. I just don't know. Maybe it's the lighting. There. That's a little bit better. It just didn't look quite right. And I don't know why it doesn't look quite right. So I got to make some. I was doing all kinds of stuff today. I was a busy guy, believe it or not, got my taxes done. But thank you all for coming. Chloe's in the house. Desert Rose, haven't seen you in a bit, but thank you for coming. Scotty Boy, I talk to myself when I'm in need of intelligent conversation. Yes, run with it. Thank you, Chloe. I always need a little pump there. A fist bump or a high five to all of you. Anyway, hey, Secret Truth. You're listening from your kitchen. And Travis the Brick. I watch Shoestring Hobo Train. No, this is not Shoestring Hobo Train. This is this channel. Please go there and subscribe. Yes. And also tonight, if you want to come on and have a conversation with me and be on the show, here is the StreamYard thing. Just come on. We're going to have a good discussion. You can discuss with me last night was a great night. Steve came on and we had a good discussion. And it was actually more interesting than probably than talking about Hermes in other ways. So, like I said, please everybody go over, sub to that. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get that channel going. It's just fun. It's going to be a lot of shorts on there, and stuff like that. So, it's all because of Scotty Boy. Stupid talk and stupid talk daily. And if it goes south, we're going to blame Scotty Boy. So, into the Hermetic writings. So last night we talked about Hermes, who is Thoth, and he could be, tons of guys all around the world, and he could be anybody, but he is a giver of knowledge, and an architect, a guy for all. Oh wow, there's Nina. Nina, you are perfect. Yeah, there we go. I gotta turn my headset or I'll be able to hear you when you come on. But anyhow, Mandy Moo's in the house.
Hello?
There you go. Nina the Mystic is in the house.
Oh yeah, you can hear me. Okay.
I can hear you. I didn't know if you were coming on. Then I see the thing. Hey, I'm here, but not.
Hey, I thought, you know what? Because I'm always like, I don't want to come on because I don't have my face on. But you know what? I can come on without my face. So there you go.
That's right. You're just proving a point to everybody else. There's no excuse for not coming on. You don't have to have a camera and have your face up there. We can still talk to you.
Yeah.
I really liked your show tonight. I mean, I really think that pouring your heart out and telling your story is really important.
Yeah, I've been kind of not wanting to, but I think it's time to bring it out there because I bet you there's a lot of other people are feeling the same way or having experiences and just not wanting to, say anything, so.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, a lot of people don't want to talk about it, and they don't want to. They'll go along to get along on things because they're, they don't want to feel out of place. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Now I have to ask you, Robert, that background that you have there, is that Abram, or whatever it's called?
I don't know. I looked it up and it said I googled Hermes Trismegistus, and that is the picture that came up when I hit Google Images.
Okay, because I just got the book of that. This astrologer actually nudged me towards this book.
Yeah.
And it's funny because not only is he a regular astrologist, but he's also in the Vedic and I think 4 different kinds of astrology. But not only that, he ties it in with current events. And so I'm like, oh my God, yeah, this is great. And so I got that book, and I do believe that guy is Abelman or something. I don't have it right here, but yeah, interesting.
It is interesting. Yeah. Well, like I said, I just Googled it, and that's what came up, and I just hit. Okay,
I can't wait
a second. The lights just went out.
What?
That's not a good thing. Hold on.
Holy shit. Okay. Well, hang on, folks. Am I taking over the bus now or something? Am I taking the wheel? All of a sudden, you're going around the corner, and I'm taking the wheel. Holy shit! Here we go. Okay, here we go. The driver's out, and I'm taking over.
Yeah. I'm glad you're taking over. I mean, I'm like, oh no, my foot caught the cord.
Oh, okay.
Caught the cord and on the computer underneath, and it unplugged everything, and all the lights in here went out, but everything but the computer, because the computer's got battery power, so that stayed on, and everything else went out. And I'm like,
we can see you now, but you don't have this green screen. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not doing it.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what happens. We do things like we just do things.
There you go. That's
Sometimes,
perfect lighting, though. So there you go.
sometimes that's the way things go, and anyway. Yes, I know. I'm talking to the computer now, and I don't know why the green screen is not working. Huh? See, when you screw things up, then it just goes all. I Okay.
I've seen a lot of sort of electrical glitches, like even with my car. Now, mind you, my vehicle is old, and so all the electrical stuff is going now. But anyways, I've had trouble with that. Then I went to the store, used my debit card, and she's like, "Oh my goodness, yeah, we've been having troubles with that." So I don't know if there's an electrical kind of interference right now or
Well,
something.
there,
I don't.
there, there is. I mean, the Earth's ozone is shrinking, and it's getting smaller around the Earth. And as that, if you listen to Suspicious Observers, that guy there, he talks about how that's getting smaller little by little, and as that gets smaller, this when the sun is bright or sends a solar flare, that's just less area for it to come through. It's our protection against all that solar radiation. And
Mhm.
as that gets corrupted, it lets more stuff in it. It affects all. They say it'll affect people's brains, and I think that's probably some of it too.
Yeah, I bet you it does affect different things. Yeah. And then actually, just recently, just half an hour ago, I had Andrew message or put a thing in there saying, "Hey, I heard you guys had an earthquake today. Are you affected?" I'm like, wow, that's the first I've heard of it. I haven't heard
Mhm.
anybody talk about it, but apparently outside of Vancouver here, we had an earthquake.
Wow. Well,
So,
I was just listening to was it Marfugal News or something like that. He's always talking about the Cascadia event, and
yeah,
that's right in that area. I mean, if that
I
happens
know. Yeah, no,
now,
when that happens, you're not going to see me. That I'll be gone. Yeah.
yeah, I mean that giant
Uh,
tidal wave would come over, but that's happened before, and in the recent history, did you know that I watched this documentary once on they were talking about the coastline there and how they were looking at the dirt and the sediment and this trees and things like that, and how they were dying off because they had salt water. And it appears that in the early 1700s, when there was literally no white people here, it was just the Indians. There was a cataclysms thing, and the water came in. Must have been under a giant earthquake,
mm,
and the water came in miles and miles, and well, there was nobody here to witness it or document it
all right.
except the Indians. The Indians were here, and of
Yeah.
course, probably a lot of them died off too, or but some of them survived and lived to tell the tale. But who are they telling it to? They didn't like they got out their pen and paper and said we're going to make notes, keep history on it, and tell our great grandchildren. They just made some fairy tales about it or whatever, some myths and legends, and
I was going to
then
say it's more on the oral, it's passed down orally, in
yeah.
stories and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they passed it down, But now that we're going back in as scientists, they're saying, "Hey, this is what happened. See the layer of salt in there. See the layer of sand. Where did this come from?" And there's a lot of other things. How did the bones? They find bones like whale bones,
Mhm.
miles inland. Well, how did that whale just suddenly pop on the shore and crawl, a couple miles inland?
Well, yeah, that's kind of proof that, the earth was different before, right? And that the water
Hmm.
line was, you know, different. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. It can
Yeah,
also prove sort of the flood thing too. So,
yeah, the flood thing, and there's floods all the time. I mean, when there's earthquakes and stuff like that, so that could happen at any given point. And like they said, that big earthquake there is years overdue, years. Every 300 years or
300.
so, it happens on a regular basis. Well, we're 350 years in, so
Yeah. So, yeah. So any day now,
yeah. And don't you
right?
get to look see something you get to look forward to?
Well, but the thing is, it's going to be fast. I'm sure it's going to be over in real quick time, right? So
Hmm.
that's why I enjoy every freaking day that we're here, right? So,
Yes. Oh, yeah.
you
Enjoy
know,
every minute.
Yeah.
and
And when the way the
enjoy.
world's going, it doesn't matter where you live, you never know what's going to happen. So,
Yeah, yeah. Tomorrow we could be in World War III, or we could get a solar flare from the sun,
yeah.
and but if a person dwells on all of that bad stuff, you may end up just being stuck in your house, going, "Oh my gosh, if I go outside, a solar flare comes. Oh, I can't do anything because there might be a World War III, or
Uh,
I might have an earthquake, and this, that, and the other." Well, you know what? A meteorite might fall out of the sky, hit your house, and you're dead anyway. You just
I know. That's
live.
one thing about, back in the days that when they didn't have TV and all this, they didn't know about solar flares. They didn't know about any of this stuff. They just lived every day as whatever. They never worried
Mhm.
about it, because they didn't know about it.
Yeah.
So, we really had a lot less stress, I would say, than nowadays when we know too much almost.
Yes. Oh, I totally agree with that. It's so much less stress back in the day. I mean, you could remember those days when you didn't have a cell phone hanging off your side, when
Yeah.
you could go places and not worry about getting mugged or killed, or things like that, or seeing people doing drugs or whatever, on the side of the street or something. And
Hmm.
and nowadays it's like, boy, I just dread the thought of going anywhere besides where I am, because here in North Dakota, it's like living back in the past. Everybody's pretty darn nice. Um, you don't have all that crime. You don't have the homeless, because in the winter they just freeze off and die. So they get
Yeah, no,
too
that's
cold.
that's definitely a problem in my little town here. I've been here long enough that I remember before it happened, and really, it's sad to say, but when the Salvation Army came in with their 2 free meals a day,
Yeah.
it was like, all over, especially back east. They're like, yeah, go to, and I'm not gonna say where I live, but into that city, down here on the West Coast, because hey, not only is it mild in the winter, but hey, you get 2 free meals a day as well. So
Mhm.
now we're just exploded with homeless and drug addicts, and it's just
Mhm.
with all the stuff that goes along with that. So it's yeah,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's unreal, what the world is coming to. And I just don't understand it. I mean, how are we letting things like this happen right in front of our face, when the common man, the common person, just, um, knows better? They do. You or me, we don't want that stuff to happen. We wouldn't, we would arrest the bad guys, and let the good guys go free. But now it's the other way around. You jaywalk, you're going to go to prison. The guy who's doing drugs, he's going to get a slap on the back and say, "Hey, buddy, go over there where you can get their, do it safely." Right?
oh yeah, they even have safe places to do it now. Downtown Vancouver, we have a little safe, what they call injection
Yeah.
places, whatever it is. Yeah, you go in, it's all sterile, clean. You can sit there and do your thing, and yeah, they'll hand it to you. Yeah, it's almost like a setup, almost,
Hmm.
to get rid of the poor people. Like honestly, in this whole fentanyl thing, that's all from China. It's all coming in from China. And I see
Hmm.
people right and left and center, young people, dying of this. People who aren't really drug addicts or homeless or anything, but
Hmm.
just, wanting to party one weekend. And, well, they get the stuff and they're laced with fentanyl, which the hardcore, drug addicts, they love that. It's an extra boost for them. But you and I, who are not used to it and just want to party one weekend, well, we die from that.
Yeah,
It's such a waste. It really is.
it
Yeah,
really is. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because they say that fentanyl stuff is the worst. I mean, you can get some of that dust on paper or
yeah,
anything or whatever, and somebody touches something, and
yeah.
you get it in your skin, or you touch your mouth afterwards. You don't even know
Yeah,
you have it, and you're what
that's
was
right.
it? Yeah,
Yeah.
just you die. Like,
Or
what
even
was?
just being around people who are smoking it, just you
Yep.
breathing that in a little bit in the room can make you die. Yeah.
Wow.
It's super deadly. But for those who build up a tolerance, like the hardcore drug addicts,
Yeah.
they feel like it's an extra boost, it's an extra kick. It enhances their experience. But for those who don't do it and who are around them, yeah, just one little whiff and we're gone. So yeah, it's thank you, China. Thank you, China. We love that shit.
Oh yeah, I mean that's exactly it. It's crazy, and they're bringing it over, and they're opening up the borders for these Chinese guys and things, and it's we're living in bizarro world. Everything is backwards. Let the people across the border open up the drugs, do this, do that. Start wars with people in foreign countries over nothingness. Nobody wants to participate really. And here we sit.
Government. I mean, this is our own and this is long time. Like, even it's known that, like, Clinton, he was part of the whole the drug trade there down in, I can't remember where the southern state that he's from there, and it's just they're all in on it. They're the ones that are bringing in the cocaine. They're the ones that are doing all this stuff. Yet they put down the law for you and I. We can't, like, smoke a joint or anything, but they can, bring in all the drugs and do all this stuff, and yeah, it's yeah.
Well, yeah, and how is this fair? I mean, we're the working public. We went to work, did all the things we're supposed to do, and yet we aren't getting any of the benefit that we should be getting. I see that. That's the way it feels anyway to me. We should be the public, the people who've worked hard, the American people should get the benefits of all this stuff. Just like in Canada there, you're feeding homeless people. Are you feeding illegal aliens there too? Are they coming from somewhere?
Yeah, I know that. The weird thing is that, and it's kind of sad, but a couple hours inland, we have all our fruit trees and all the sort of, it'll be kind of like the same as Arizona or warmer climate. Okay, where all the berries and fruit trees and everything is growing. We're importing people from Mexico to come and pick our trees. Even during the Rona, during when it was supposed to be locked down and everything was supposed to be, no, we're still importing people from Mexico to come and do our dirty work. Like, so first of all, we don't have people here that want to do it. That's probably a problem, because nobody wants to do that kind of dirty work. But at the same time, I guess it's cheaper, right? And that's what it comes down to, the money. So Mexican people are willing to come up here and work for $2 a day or something, Well, you and I, we want at least $20 an hour, So this is going on, and they don't care.
Doesn't seem to bother the government at all.
No, even during the lockdown, they didn't care. Oh no, oh, you're picking berries? Oh yeah, you can come in. Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Exactly. Delaney says legalize all drugs. Well, maybe that they should, but then again, then they could collect taxes off of it. Maybe they could regulate it then or something, because now it's all like just a free for all.
Well, they almost should, because that way it takes away the criminal element out of it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and if you for those who are going to want to do drugs, they're going to do drugs regardless. It's not going to make me want to do drugs just because it's legal. No, what I mean? Exactly. So I don't think it's going to make people, into drug addicts just because it's legal. However, it is going to take away the criminal element. Same with prostitution. Just legalize it. And that way, you can keep the girls clean and everything. Yeah, tax them. Why not? Why not?
But then again, our world, I don't know. I think our world was so much better when we didn't have people doing all these drugs. I mean, we had people doing normal things.
Well, the thing is, what we need to do, Robert, in order to combat that, is to deal with mental health. If we can raise normal, healthy human beings, they're not going to want to do drugs. So that's where you got to go back to the families, the family unit, and raising healthy children, so that they're not going to want to do drugs. So those people are doing it. That's because they're so messed up.
Oh yeah.
They want to escape. They can't handle what's going on here, and they have to escape. And I have one of those because I live right next door to a modular homes here where they live, and I have one of those Archon, or what is it? I can't remember what it's called, but the injection kit to give them if they're overdosing.
Oh wow.
And when I was, trained to use it, I already know how to use them. But they're like, yeah, don't expect them to. They're not gonna be happy about it. They're gonna be really upset that you just revived them now, right? They want to be there. They don't want to be here.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
kind of want to die, okay, in a sense. They don't want to be in reality here. And matter of fact, if you try to revive them, they're probably going to get violent and probably beat you up for it. So, there's that too. So, that's the thing. We need to go right back to the reason why they're doing drugs in the first place. If we can start having healthy families, healthy children, so that we don't have people wanting to do this in the first place, that's where we need to go back to. You
I
know,
agree with that 100% because, well, but here's the thing nowadays. Most of the kids in school are already on drugs. They are
yeah,
on
yeah,
Ritalin and they're on this
yeah,
and antidepressants because
yeah,
every time that kid does something, it's like, oh,
yeah, yeah,
there's something wrong with that kid. He can't
right.
read right. He needs Ritalin.
Right.
He's got HD. Oh, that one here.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
look
yeah.
at him. He's not so happy. He's
Right.
depressed. Give
So
him some.
now we got to go back to follow the money. Why is it that we're giving all these people or children drugs? Oh, that's because it's benefiting the pharmaceuticals, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? You got the sniffles. Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah, take this. So you got this. Oh, take that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, we're not allowed to daydream anymore. We got ADH now. We're not allowed to, So they've taken all these normal human behavior, put a label on it, and
Yeah.
then we got a med for that, or we got an app for that, or we got a med for that, or something, right? So they're making money off of us, just in a way right now that is unbelievable. They've always done that, but nowadays with the pharmaceuticals, and this is where the real war is going on right now with the whole what's happened here the last 3 years. It's all about the money.
Yes. It's
There's
all about.
money people to
Well,
make on us.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, well those people selling the drugs to those
Yes.
school
Yeah.
kids are making a ton of money because the parents aren't going to say no. They'll be like, well, the kid's something wrong with him. I got to give him drugs. But how? Here's my question: how do you think those drugs are affecting that child's brain development? And
Mhm.
yeah, sure, maybe he's
Well,
concentrating a little
I
bit
can.
more to learn some 2 plus 2. But when he gets done with school, is his brain fully developed then?
No,
Or,
no.
when they rip him out of school and say, well, no more drugs, you're not in school, you're not under the parents'
Yeah.
insurance plan anymore. Now, what's that kid going to do? Is he going to go out and get real drugs?
Well, I can tell you right now, I have or had a younger brother in Norway, half brother, okay,
Mm-hmm.
who yeah, I mean, his mother was smoking and drinking during pregnancy. So no doubt, he had some issues, right? Some nervous issues, but nothing that you should I don't believe that you should put any kid on any drug. But yeah, that's what they did. They put him on all kinds of drugs, and sure enough, what did that do? Well, that was a gateway to the real drugs. And sure
Yeah, well,
enough,
that's what I'm saying.
he died at 33. Not necessarily exactly from the drugs, but drug related, I would say. Yeah, so those
Yeah.
pharmaceutical things that they were putting him on, that was the gateway drug for the real drugs. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah,
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 exactly. So if you got half the kids on some sort of drug, when they get
yeah.
out of school, there's going to be half those kids that are on real drugs
They're
afterwards
going
or
to be going,
craving.
and so this is why we have the problem now,
Mm-hmm.
right? We never had
Yes.
this when you and I were growing up. We never had all
No.
this. No,
No. No.
so
Yeah. You had kids that were unruly and they had to learn. The teacher took the ruler out and whacked you a couple of good ones, and you
yeah.
looked at her and you said, "Well, I'll do whatever you say."
I mean, there's something we said for that too. I don't believe in hitting the kids and all that. So we were, disciplined um, to be fearful of authority, and so you say what you will with that. But if you go further back than that, like the whole school system, That's not a
Mhm.
normal thing for a human child to sit there still for 6 hours. That's not a normal thing.
No, no.
So I mean, like kudos for those who can't and who rebelled. Honestly, you're just being normal. Those who can, you almost got to question, like, how is it that you're able to sit there and, just comply and like, who are you? What are you like, really? So, like, again, we got to go back to the way that we've been doing things, the whole school system. That's a whole indoctrination camp. I mean, we got to get rid of that whole thing too. There's so many different things that are going to be happening here on this reset that they're calling it. And for me, I got my own
Mhm.
reset. I'm not looking at Schwab and all his stuff, the nefarious things that they're looking at. But I do believe in a reset. That yes, we need to get kids out of the school. The women need to be able to stay at home, raise their own children. We don't need to be putting them in daycare. Like I'm looking at my daughter-in-law here. Like so, apparently they'll give you $1,600 a month to put the kid in daycare. Why can't you give that $1,600 to the mother so she can stay at home? But
Mhm.
no, they don't want you staying at home because they can't tax you then. They want you out in the workforce, A, so they can tax you, and B, so that we can indoctrinate your kid. That's what it's
Mhm.
all about. And so we need to get rid of everything that's going on right now and go back to the way it was, the normal family unit. You take care of your own kids, the woman stays at home. I mean, there's feminists out there that might look at me like, oh. No, you know what, that was all agenda as well. The whole 60s with burning the bra and feminism and all this, that was an agenda just to get us out of the family, to get us against everything. And it's just, the whole thing has just imploded as far as I'm concerned. And we need to get back to basics.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to happen that easily. Here's my thoughts on this. It's going to have to be a revolution of some sort.
Yeah.
A major turning point. And I put it this way, you got women's lib and you got all this stuff and women doing this and women doing that, right? Well, look at was it is it Iran or no Afghanistan where we pulled out of? They were liberating the women and they were starting to drive cars and have rights and go to school, and that was all good. But the minute that the invading force, the US, was moving out of there, it didn't last long before the women went right back to the way they were before, the US was there.
Mhm.
Having no rights, putting a bag over their head,
Mhm.
doing all that stuff, not being able to go to school, not being able to do anything, not being able to drive. And so that all went out the window. And
Mhm.
I mean, it's not that I like that happened because I don't think that's quite right. But I can say that it's going to take something like that to put all this back into place, uh, because you need that. Because right now, the way it is, they're not gonna, they can't change this. You just can't vote it out. It's indoctrinated into people's heads. They have to have this major cataclysm to, like, snap them out of it. I guess you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because we know the way it should be, but there's going to be 1,000 people against us to say, no way, I don't want to go back to that where, the kids are not taking this drug to, my kid would be stupid. He wouldn't be learning anything. And because they're brainwashed, the parents want
Mhm.
all parents, you included, probably wanted the best for your children. You didn't say, no, we're going to get you used clothes, crappy shoes. When you get ready to drive, we're going to get you the shittiest, crappiest car out there because that's what I had. No, we're going to try to get you something better. You're going to if I didn't go to college, you're going to go to college and make something of your life, right? I don't know how you think of it, but that's the way I think most people want for their kids better than themselves, right?
Well, I gotta say, I see your point there, but
Mhm.
on the other hand, we kind of raised our kids more redneck. And
Uh-huh.
to be honest with you, I know my brother and some people around me, they were kind of like, yeah, put their nose up a little bit at how we kind of do
Hmm.
things. But now they're the ones that are at the top because both my kids are in trades. Okay. So yeah,
Hmm.
they didn't go to college, Matter of fact, my youngest purposely did not graduate from grade 12 so that he could roll into grade 13 and get the electrical program for $500 rather than 5,000.
Oh.
Okay. So there's ways of doing
Hmm.
things when
Yeah.
you're, when you're poor, so to speak. But, they're the ones that are making the money. They don't have enough people to take over from the trades. All the baby boomers are retiring. There's nobody to take over. These guys are my boys are the ones that are gonna rake in the bucks with the trades. And all these other
Hmm.
college boys that are working at McDonald's because they didn't get a job with their college degree, are the ones that are going to suffer. So there you go. So there's that too. We need to go back to reality, honestly, and and look at what's real and what's needed. And yeah, yeah.
Well,
I don't.
and I agree with you. You don't have to. I mean, I wasn't raised. We were kind of redneck too. When I was a kid. But still, the parents, they were always, trying to do the best so that we, the children, had more than they had. You know, my mother would say things like, "Oh, I didn't have this and I didn't have that, and we didn't have TV to watch." And my dad, well, I had to go work for the farmer all summer so we could make enough money to, you know, keep the lights on or something, whatever it was. But
Yeah,
they were doing those things, and when I got, well, I didn't have to go work my ass off at the neighbor's farm so that we could pay the bills.
yeah.
I got to work and make some money for myself. I didn't have the greatest first vehicle in the world, but
But
it
you
was
build
okay.
character with that, Robert. Like
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like being just sitting there on some pillow your whole life and not doing anything. It's not You're not learning anything. And being handed the fancy car and this, you're not learning anything.
no,
So there's something to be said by having to work for it and having to save for things, like we've
yeah,
kind of gotten away from all of that. Everything is instant gratification now, and everything is so fake. Now,
mhm,
not so much in my immediate family, because like I said, we raised our boys more redneck, but I look at my brother, not so much that, he's got girls, and he even's commenting, like, it's just looking at, like, watching his girls go through the Starbucks drive through. It's like
mhm,
they completely change personality. They're completely somebody else when they're ordering their thing. The way they talk, everything is so fake, and it's all like, yeah, like even him, he's just he cringes at what he has created now, to be honest.
mhm.
And looking at me and mine, and it's like, you know what? Who did who's further ahead here, like, so and I don't blame people for kind of going along with it, because it's kind of hard to kind of go against the grain, going against
Mhm.
how they're doing things. You want to sort of blend in and all this kind of stuff, but honestly, no. In the long run, you're not better off. You're
Yeah,
better off to be true. Yeah.
and that's true in a lot of ways. I mean, I am really thankful I had old junk cars and things like that because I learned how to be a really good mechanic. And
Exactly. Yeah.
and I was poor, so I had to learn how to do electricity. And when my
Right.
pipe broke, I was poor, so I had to learn how to fix my own pipes.
Well, there you
And
go.
when
Yeah.
I got older, and it's like that all stuff coming to my benefit. I mean, I ended up doing a lot of horse stuff, trained and broke horses, and I was a local farrier and things like that. And I had to learn all that on my own, and then I had myself my own little business there, kind of thing. But
Hmm.
I I worked really hard at it,
Yeah.
and then it brought me out here, and because of all those skills, I got a good job in the oil field. So
Well, there you go. See, if you gone to college, you probably wouldn't be sitting in your mama's basement right now. So there you
yeah, that's probably where I'd be. I'd be
go.
a
You never
I'd
want to leave. Well,
I,
look at my brother. Like, his kids are in the mid-20s now. I didn't
yeah.
even realize. Like, holy shit, they're 24 years old. And I'm thinking back to when I was 25. I was already married and pregnant already.
Wow.
And his kids can't afford to move out. There's no hope at all of the kids moving out. The oldest one, who's got a couple of kids, is down in the basement. They can't afford to move out. There's no hope of them owning their own place. So,
yeah, and I believe it or not, I hear that so much. I was talking with my buddy one day, the other day, and he was talking about, a friend of his, and she lives with her boyfriend, who lives with his mother. So they all live in one house together. And then, and then, not to bring up other people, but then he was saying, yeah, well, her ex, he lives with his mother too. And I'm thinking, is there anybody who doesn't live with their mother or their parents or what? I'm thinking,
no,
just, I mean, I don't get it.
Not unless you're over 30. If you're under 30, no, you're still at home. Yeah. No, yeah. I know. Back in our day, it was like, well, even before me, like if you were still not married by 25, you're considered a spinster. Like you were like going to be at home forever kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But, but now that's moved up maybe to about 30. But nowadays, like there's nobody, like the young people now are like, waiting to 40 before I have a kid, if you even have one, because you can't afford to move out. So there has to be a whole reset. I do believe in the reset, the real estate reset, the financial reset, everything, so that we can go back to a normal life again. Like this is ridiculous.
Well, even myself, I want to buy a house. That's my goal for being out here.
And look at you. How old are you? And you haven't even bought a house yet.
Yeah, so, I know. And I'm well, and the thing is I have standards though. So now I could go to the bank and I probably could get a loan for a house, lickety split. And I probably could pay for, they probably loan me money for a $300,000-$400,000 house pretty easy. But I'm not like that. You can
get a house for $300,000 over there. See, over here now, for the piece of shit house that we paid $150,000 for 30 years ago, my son had to get over $1 million mortgage for this piece of shit house.
Wow.
That's how you can't get a house for $300,000 or $400,000 over here. Wow. In Canada. No way.
See, this is the question. If I go out and get a house for $1 million.
Yeah. That's a piece of shit house too, by the way, over here.
Are you going to be able to pay for that in your lifetime?
No, you can get mortgages up to 40 years now, right? They're already kind of extended it to 40 now.
Well, yeah, but okay, so I'm in my 50s, I'm going to be.
Yeah. So obviously not. You're never going to pay it off. You can't retire. No.
Yeah, when I start to retire, I go, well, I got to get a second job.
You can't afford the mortgage when you retire. And so therefore, that's the thing. So there's I hate to say it, but it's almost too late for us in our 50s to get a mortgage now.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in your 20s, okay, you might be worth it. But no, for us, no.
See, now I'm trying to do it the right way. And I've been saving, and I'm going to save up, and I'm going to have half the money or more, and I'm going to pay for that house right up front.
Now, if you can do that, then so if you can pay cash, you go in there and say, here you go, here's $1 million. That house is mine now. Yeah.
And I'm not going to think in that big of terms, because I'm not going to buy $1 million house either, because to me, I need to find something cheaper. I want to find something in the country with a little bit of land. I don't need anything fancy, so I'm saying if I can find a place and I can pay for, $100,000 on it and only have, to finance maybe 25 or 50 or maybe something like that, I could possibly pay for that house then in a few years and then retire, and then it's mine, versus, oh no, I'll be working till I'm 75 in the house. I'll still be making payments till I'm 80 if I live that long. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. If you're lucky to be able to get a place that's, that affordable, go for it. But, I see the sad part here is the seniors, right? Especially those who bought, like, say, a house in Vancouver. They may have bought it for fairly cheap when they were younger. They spent their whole life paying it off. But now, all of a sudden, the real estate market says that, oh, well, that place is now $3 million. And they're retired. Now, all of a sudden, they can afford the property tax.
I
So they
hate
have
that.
to sell because of that. You know, it is so sad to see that seniors can't even afford to pay the property tax, you know,
Yeah.
and that's how it's kind of gotten here. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
Well, I mean, you heard that about Hawaii, didn't you? That the Hawaiians can't afford to live in Hawaii no more because
right.
of that
Well, that's
same
kind of like here.
thing.
Vancouverites can't afford. Like my son works in Vancouver, but he can't afford to live there. He's got to
Yeah.
drive an hour and a half each way to get there. You know,
Yeah,
and
which does that make any sense?
no, it
Here you are,
no, and that's where in a sense if it does get to the point, because I know what they want to do is for us to not to own anything and we're going to be happy, right?
yeah.
What's going to happen is, and I see it with my kids, because my one kid, my oldest kid, got a house with a variable interest rate while the interest rate went up, so now he's paying out the notes. He's probably just about to lose the house, but he's not telling me about it. The other one, well, he locked in, but when he is up for renewal, who
Hmm.
knows what the interest rate's going to be at. And
Yeah.
this is what's going to happen is that the interest rate is going to in the next few years go up to a point where nobody can afford to finance
Yeah.
so
Well, as the interest rate goes up, the prices of the houses come down,
well, the
and
payments
then
are going to go up, and so you're not going to be
yeah,
able to afford the payments, and
yeah,
so you're
because
going to end up. So what's
yeah,
going to happen is the bank is going to own the house, and then they're going to turn around and say, "But hey, guess what? The good news is that I'll rent it to you though for this amount." And hopefully that amount is going to be a lot less than what they
mhm,
were paying with the mortgage. And so they're going to be happy about that
mhm.
because they're not paying as much, you know. But yeah, and that's the ultimate goal, is what they want, and this is why this is all gotten to this point, is that eventually the banks is going to own everything. And I just watched a program the other day. Back in the day, it was only privately owned houses. Nowadays, majority of real estate is owned by companies, big,
Yeah,
huge companies, and they're
yeah,
going around buying up everything. And so it won't be long now, probably in the next decade, they're going to own
hmm,
everything. We're going to rent it
yeah.
back off of them. So even though you bought the house, you're now still there, but you're renting it, and hopefully at an affordable rate, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's the way it's going. So if you are, you know, if you got money, if you're able to freaking buy up as much land as you can, you
Hmm.
know, because that's where it's at. And then you can rent out space and all that kind of stuff. That's where it's at. If you can
Well,
get in
you
there.
know that. Speaking of that, this company. Did you ever hear of the company called BlackRock?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, BlackRock is one of those companies that own um, all that land and stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're here. I'm going to do this, and since we're talking about this, just to prove to everybody that this is actually going on. Okay,
Hmm.
look at this. Here's BlackRock. BlackRock is a multinational investment company. These are the guys that are buying up the assets, the land and stuff.
Yeah.
They own the world's largest asset manager with $8.6 trillion in assets under management as of December 31st. So
Trillion. Yeah.
you know how many houses that is?
That's a lot of,
Yeah, that's a
maybe a
lot
couple
of
in
place.
Vancouver, but yeah.
I mean, if that's what we're talking about, oh my
I know.
God, $8.6 trillion. And once you own all that stuff, then you're just raking it in, and then you're using the government, and you're saying, oh, we got to write this off, we got to write that off, we got to. So now the government's saying, hey, we ain't getting this tax money in because, this big company owns it. They're writing everything off. Yeah, they're keeping the economy going, but now we ain't getting any taxes. So we got to tax the people more. So not only do you pay more in rent because the BlackRock owns your town, they own all the houses that everybody rents from. Uh,
Hmm.
Now you have to pay another tax somewhere along the line because they're not paying any.
Hmm.
Yeah, how fun is
Yeah,
that?
I know. I did a video actually on the Black Rock and Black something else and the connection with the Antarctica. I did a video on that. And it's quite interesting how the whole cube, Black Rock, Antarctica, there's a big connection there. And I did do a video, and I might do
No,
some
no, it's not
more
BlackRock. It's another one. and I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah,
It's
black
not BlackRock.
something.
It's oh, I don't remember. I wish Mandy Moo was listening because she would have typed it in here. She told me all about this one time and
Yeah,
told me about this company and how they took over, and they took over from Lockheed Martin, and
yeah.
they just went through it. But here's a funny thing. Now we were talking about BlackRock. Who owns BlackRock?
Right, right, right.
You-
Yeah, that's the thing. So these
Okay,
companies are
so
into
I
everything.
found that out. Believe it
Okay,
or
all
not,
right. Let's hear
you
it.
probably didn't know this, did you? I got one for you.
Okay, all right.
This company right here called Aladdin by
Oh,
BlackRock. So
uh,
Aladdin
Aladdin.
is a giant company, and
And
they
it's a
do a
genie. It's a
huh?
genie. It's the spirit.
Yes, they always put everything in code, don't they?
Yep. Well, not
And
really. Not really.
and
We figured it out right away. So obviously not much of a code, but
listen to this. BlackRock Management Corporation and BlackRock Incorporated. In 2013, it handled $11 trillion in assets, which was about 7% of the world's financial assets. You know,
yeah.
think about that. This company that
Uh-huh.
was in 2013 was
Right.
doing 7%. What's it doing now? That
Yeah.
was in 2013. It handled 11 trillion. Back in 2013, your money was worth something. Today, I can imagine they're probably doing 20 trillion. I
Yeah.
mean, that is just I'm you can't even fathom. Can you fathom what $1 trillion is?
No, not
No.
really.
They
Yeah.
said here's what some I've seen lots of examples of this, and this is an easy one to think of. Take a $1 bill and pile it up from here to the moon. That's $1 trillion.
Right. Yeah.
The thin paper of a $1 bill piled from here to the moon, 270,000 miles away. That's $1 trillion. I just about, I mean, it's hard to imagine. Hmm.
Yeah. It's a lot of money. I know there's basically just a handful of companies because that's what they are.
Yeah.
They're a company, right? That you don't know their
Hmm.
name, but you know their company and own everything. And
Yeah.
yeah, so so it doesn't matter if you choose Coke or Pepsi, red or blue. It doesn't matter because they own it all. Like
Hmm.
they're getting all the money, no matter if you choose Coke or Pepsi, because they own it all. So that's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When you own so much,
Same with the
um,
politics, whether you're red or blue in the politics, doesn't matter. They own it, they own both.
yeah.
Wars. They own both sides of the war, and that's why it's so profitable. So that is the problem. Like there's only a handful of people that own the world that we're
Mhm.
ruled under. And yeah, but now, I'm kind of excited though that this is all coming out and people are starting to understand this now, and hopefully, I'll be able to do something about it, or at least speak about it.
Yeah.
Having it out in the open is the worst thing for them. They don't want that, so
Yeah. Well, and it's we need that reset. We really do. Us common
we
people.
do.
I know people are going to end up dying. I know
Yeah,
people are going to end up getting hurt.
yeah.
Do I care? Yes, I care very much. But
Hmm.
if we don't, if it doesn't get reset,
Yeah.
I hate to say that
For
uh,
humanity in a whole, it needs to be
it's
done.
gonna be even worse. It's gonna be a different kind of reset that we're all gonna regret in the long run. And the only reason this is happening is too many people put their head in the sand for too long. And now that there's something's going on, they take their head out of the sand and they look around and go, it's too late now to change. The Titanic's got a big hole in it and we're halfway under the water.
Right, we're going down. Well, that's kind of where we're at right now. We're going down. It's just a lot of people haven't realized that yet. But yeah,
Yeah, they're still rearranging the chairs on the deck.
Yeah. The band's still playing, right? The band's
Yeah,
still playing, so you think everything is good, but no, we're still going down. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And what do you do about it? The only thing I can suggest for people to do is wake up, pay attention, prepare, don't be scared. And the world is a good place. You just, go out to a park or something, and the birds, they don't care this is all happening. They're tweeting. The animals are running around. The tree is still growing. The grass is still growing. The wind's still blowing.
Hmm.
It's people who've made all the problems, and it's people who are going to have to fix them. That's all there's to it. You you
Yeah.
know you,
I know.
it's
Yeah, we look around. Well, that's sort of the only blessing that you really have is to just watch the animals, right? And or watch the babies. I got a little grandkid, and he doesn't know anything, and I almost feel sorry for the bugger that he's gonna have to go through all the things that he's gonna have to go through. But at the same time, I take joy just in the moments and in the little things, and just watching him is so innocent. And so we need to remember that too, and not to worry too much. But at the same time, though, well, there's pleasure time, and then there's adult time, and so
mhm,
we spend our adult time doing what we can to try to spread awareness. I guess that's what we're doing. That's all we can do really, is spread awareness so people are waking up. But at the same time, we also want to live in the moment and enjoy all the little things that we have and that are available here, and not to
mhm.
worry too much, right? Yeah, because
Yeah,
that's not
well,
health.
yeah,
It's
and
not, yeah.
prepare a little bit every day, and it
Oh, for
won't
sure.
bother you. And
Yeah,
then go out and have some fun too.
yeah,
So you live your life,
exactly.
a little bit, enjoy
Hmm.
things, and have fun while you're here. Don't, and then maybe try to learn something along the way, and don't be scared. And life will be good. Life will be good.
Yeah. Yeah, you should always prepare, because you don't know, like even here, like we're expecting an earthquake, or maybe down in your neck of the woods you might have tornadoes and whatever else. We're always been kind of prepared for those things, aren't we? But
Hmm.
so have a little extra every time you go shopping, buy a couple extra cans. Just it doesn't have to be all done at once. Do
Hmm.
it a little bit here and there, and just stash things away. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people might feel that, oh, well, I'm being greedy if I'm stashing away, or no, that's just being smart and
Yep.
stashing up for a rainy day. And, even if it's not even for that, even if you just look at the inflation, if you buy, say, a razor today, it might be $7. Well, next year, that razor might be $14. Okay.
Yeah.
Or $21. Who knows? So why not buy a few razor blades now at today's price? Stash it away, because you're going to need them,
Hmm.
or whether it be feminine protection stuff or vitamin or whatever, stuff that it's going to last, that might go up, and you might not be able to afford it next year or the year after, until the
Yeah.
reset's completely done. That's the thing. We are, no doubt, that we are going to be going towards some rough seas in the next couple of years. But I do believe, once, if you can, get over that, and so that's where it comes with the prepping. So just prep for the next couple of years. Okay,
Hmm.
what is it that you're gonna need? What's gonna make you comfortable to kind of ride out the storm that's coming? But then I do believe, once that storm is over, it's going to be sunny skies again, and
Hmm.
we're going to be fine.
Oh
So
yeah, I totally agree with that because it's cycles, like
yeah.
Steve was talking about last night, the cycles. And
Mhm.
have we all done this before? And I think he's right, we all did this before. uh
Oh, your audio just went out, Robert. Uh-oh, he's frozen up. So audio is gone, and he's frozen up. So I don't know if maybe his power went out. I don't know if you are you guys able to hear me
yes,
right now?
that is weird. Can you hear me
Oh, there
now?
we are. There we are. Yes, you're back. Okay, good.
I have no idea what happened
I
there.
thought I was on my own there for a second.
It just said you said, hey, your sound is out. And I looked over and it says excellent condition. And I'm like, well,
Oh,
that's weird. And then all of a sudden I got the little spinny circle and I'm like, oh man, that sucks.
something's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like you said, the electronic stuff, the solar flares,
Yeah,
who
you know
knows?
what? It could be the shoe man. There's solar flare. There's all kinds of things going on, guys. I
Yeah,
don't know. Yeah.
yeah. Well, we did a whole hour. I'm gonna have to change the title of this show from Hermes
Sorry.
to something else because we didn't talk hardly at all about Hermes.
No Hermes. Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming on. This was really great, really good discussion. I think everybody enjoyed that. And I think everybody, at least everybody here, and I hope everybody in the future that hears this, is a little bit prepared. They're a little bit woke. They're looking around, checking things out. Besides that, check out my new channel where I'm going to be doing some shorts every day. I'm going to do some shorts on there about news stories that you should hear, my comments and opinions on that in a 15-second short, I hope. And then maybe put in a thing where I read the headlines just because I can.
Well,
What
there
do
you
you?
go. It's not a bad idea to kind of split it up because even the stuff we talked about tonight could get you flagged, and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
no,
would definitely not to try to talk about all the headline news stuff
yeah,
and on here. I mean, it's scary enough. They might say you were talking about what, but
right.
but the thing is it's that channel. If they take that channel down, no biggie. I'd rather have them take that down to take this channel down. This would be horrible, or put a strike on me because I said something wrong. But that's what you
Yeah,
got to do, right?
I know.
I'm smart about it. But anyway, thank you for coming. I hope to see you. You got a show Sunday night, Sunday Live, right?
Yeah, I do have Karen Holton coming on. We're going to be pre-recording actually at noon,
Mm-hmm.
so it'll be
Mm-hmm.
a premiere on at 6 o'clock on Sunday. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. And what's the Friday tomorrow night, Friday, we're going to have a free for all. Maybe pull some cards. We're going to talk about subjects. I'm going to have open line here. Anybody wants to come on, we're gonna free for all it tomorrow. And then Saturday, I don't even know who we got for a guest coming on yet, but we're going to have our normal Saturday night live show. Go
right
figure.
on.
That's what it's going to be. So remember, everybody, go out, buy that extra food. And if you got it around the house for a long time, rotate it out. Donate it to a food pantry and then go buy some more stuff if you can
You know
afford it.
what? One thing I want to inject there is that
Yeah.
by law, they do not have to put a date on canned foods. That
Mm-hmm.
is something new that came about just because they want you to
Mm-hmm.
change out all your food. If the can is not compromised, if there's no, things happening with the can, that canned food should last you almost indefinitely. But they're not going
It
to tell
should.
you that. So that's the thing. So don't worry about too much about the expiry dates. Okay. Worry more about temperature. You don't want it to freeze. You don't want it to get too hot. You don't want it to be obviously be compromised in any way. But no, by law, they do not have to put a date on that canned food. So just
Mm-hmm.
keep that.
Yeah, yeah. Canned food, if you take the lid and it ain't bulged or something, and
Mm-hmm.
then then it should be good. If the can looks good and you kept it
Yeah.
in a good spot, more than likely, when you take it out of the can, smell it and then try cooking it, and should be fine. The
Yeah. You
date's
can
only
do the
there
whole
so
smell
you throw the
test.
old stuff away. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's completely sealed. There's no oxygen coming in there. There's no way that food can, spoil. It's only if
Hmm.
oxygen gets in there. So if there's a puncture or hole or something like that, yeah, okay. Or if it freezes or it gets overheated. So you don't want to have it in the garage for that unless your garage is temperature controlled. But having it somewhere where it's just room temperature,
Hmm.
you should be fine. So don't worry
Hmm.
about the whole expired food thing. That's another lie,
And
basically.
like I said, if you got food and you're rotating it out and you don't feel
That is a good
comfortable,
idea. I mean, it's not that's not
donate
gonna
it.
Yeah.
donate it to the food pantry, because there's
You
somebody
can,
else out
or
there.
just keep it, or just keep it. Like you don't
Well,
have to, just
well,
because it's
yeah.
a month overdue. You don't have to you don't have to throw that out.
Well,
You
no,
know?
no, you don't. But that's what I'm saying is, if you
Yeah.
don't feel comfortable with it, or if you just want to rotate it out, donate it to the food pantry where somebody's going to get use out of it. Don't just chuck it. That's the thing I want to avoid is, people will
Well,
chuck it.
the unfortunate thing with that, Robert, is that the food bank doesn't want to be reliable. So they look at the expiry date, and if it's expired, they will toss it in the bin. The
Ah,
homeless will not get it. So there's no sense going through your pantry and giving away expired stuff, because that is literally going in the garbage. But I'm
ah.
telling you right now, there's nothing wrong with that food. Most of
No,
it,
there's nothing. Nothing.
95% of it is still good. So don't worry about the dates as much. It's still
Mhm,
going by, because I know a lot of people go to Costco and they get a flat of tuna, for instance, and the expiry date is next year. Well, who's
mhm,
going to want to buy a whole flat of tuna if you think it's going to expire next? No, but that's the thing. That's the lie. They want you to throw it away so that you buy new. That's
yeah.
that's the thing. There's no law saying that they have to put a date on any canned food. So just think
Mhm,
about that for a second. There's no law saying you have to. That
mhm.
canned food is still good. So keep stocking up. Don't throw it out. And yeah, just keep stocking up and don't worry about it.
This is a good one. My mom used to scrape off the mold of bread and the toast a little, tell us lucky we were she toasted our bread. Yes. And that's the thing, like cheese. Get a little mold, you can scrape it off. Cheese and
That's
mold go
right.
together. You
That's
know.
the thing, which the new generation has no clue of.
Yep. And look at here.
Not a clue at all.
Paradox Fossil says sometimes that expired and you're unsure it can be used as chum while fishing. See, you always
Well,
get a
there you
use
go.
out of it.
There
So
you go.
that's the thing. Don't
Yeah.
waste anything.
There's so
Uh,
much waste going on right now, and I saw that working in a group home. It was ridiculous, and yeah, it's unbelievable the waste that's going on. But yeah, anyways,
yes. Yes. So
keep prepping.
anyway, yep, keep prepping
Keep
and
prepping.
remember everybody, go out, be the frequency you want to receive, everyone. I love you all. See you tomorrow. Peace, everybody.